Weekdays between 3 and 7 on WHBC.
Live from the WHBC Broadcast Center. Find out more about area businesses, agencies, and events.
It's what's going on right now.
This is Spotlight.
Well, good Wednesday morning, everyone. It is a Spotlight Day here on 1480 WHBC. And also want to remind you that not only are you hearing us on the radio, but you can find us live on our Facebook page. All you have to do is go to Facebook and search 1480 WHBC, like our page, and you can certainly watch us there if you'd like. And also our YouTube channel. I hope that by now you've gone to our YouTube channel and you have subscribed, because every time we put something new on our YouTube channel, when we do that, you are notified, and there's a lot of good stuff there. If you want to check that out right now, you can do it, and you'll find this is live on YouTube as well right now. So today we have a chance to chat with an old friend, and we are going to talk more about what's going on at the McKinley Presidential Library and Museum. And we have with us the Executive Director, Kimberly Kenny. And I want to say good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
Good. Before we get started on any of this, I've got to ask you about the solar eclipse. Tell me what your experience was.
Well, we just went up to the Strip, actually, in North Canton, and we saw it for about a minute and a half. It was amazing. Even though Susie, our planetarium director, had been talking about it for 2 years, I was like, well, okay, we have to go. So my family and I went up, and I couldn't believe how amazed I was at it. And I kind of wish we'd gone a little further so we could have seen it a little bit longer, but it was amazing.
Yeah. Susie, and thank you for, getting me set up with Susie, because I interviewed her twice. And the very first time that I came over to the planetarium and sat with her, and she kept saying, I'm telling you, there's a big difference between 99 and 100%. I'm telling you. And I kept going, oh, come on, really? Yes, there is a big difference. And it was fun to see how excited she was.
Oh, she's so enthusiastic about what she does. I mean, she was excited, and, she was on this tour of the whole, Northeast Ohio, and she didn't get sick of talking about it once. So yeah, she was, and the next day, she was just euphoric.
I told her I was going to have her back on so she could tell me exactly what it was like for her, because like I said, she was so excited about it, and she did such a great job with us. And I appreciated your help in getting her and being able to come over there. Sure. It's so cool to go into the Hoover Planetarium and take a look around. It's an awesome thing. So just one of the many things that are awesome about McKinley Presidential Library and Museum. A lot of things going on there. So what do we want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about the new Keller Gallery exhibition?
Sure. Yeah. So I had seen an idea at a museum years ago that was relating artifacts to the night sky. And I'd had some new shows, and, COVID messed up our schedule. And so I've been kicking it down the line for a while. And then once the eclipse was happening at this time, it actually turned out perfect. I was scheduling it about 2 years ago. So we kind of took that momentum, moved it forward, and we worked with Susie to identify constellations, because I'm a historian. So there's a little bit of a learning curve there for me. I can find Orion. That's my touchstone in the sky. I can see the 3 stars for the belt. But it was harder for me to kind of get my mind around all that. So once we kind of looked at all of the constellations in the night sky, we made connections in our collection. So the one that, some of them are very easy. And the one that came to mind quickly for me was Orion's belt. So we have a copper belt from the late 1960s, early 1970s. So that's an obvious connection. But then we have some ones that are a little bit more obscure connections, but are connections, such as there's a Southern Crown and a Northern Crown constellation. And we have some really creepy dental tools from 1900 for measuring your teeth for a crown. And then this it's a board with all these teeth examples on it for crowns. So, there's a little bit of creep factor in this exhibit. But what was so much fun was that we have never done anything like this where that was the theme. So the artifacts are all over the map. So you have furniture, we have dresses, we have toys, we have technology, glassware, china, just all kinds of things that will never be in the gallery together again, I can guarantee you.
Yeah, because they have specific reasons for being there, and this specific reason is different, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, how long is this exhibition going to last?
It is up until October 26th, so people have a lot of time to see it, but we hope they'll come in soon so they can see how really cool it turned out. It's actually become one of my favorites. I wouldn't have expected that, but people will also see, we tried to represent as many constellations as we could, and we have an artifact for each of the astrology signs. So, if you're Cancer or Gemini or, any of those things, you'll come in and see at least one.
I'm wearing my Cancer astrology
Oh,
necklace
okay.
today. Isn't that funny? I didn't
Yeah,
even
we
realize.
have the crab was a little harder for me to find. We have a Fisher Price boat from the 1970s that has a sticker in the bottom of it, and there's a little crab in the bottom of the
There you
boat. So that
go.
was as close as we could get for that one.
Okay, there you go. That's okay. It works. That works. Yeah. How long did it take you to put this all together?
Oh, months. It took months. There's almost 200 artifacts in the exhibit, and I have to thank Kate Berger, our collections manager. We started using Google Documents a couple years ago, and so we had this chart of all the things that were going to be in the exhibit, and I was kind of going through them and writing the labels, but she was adding things above it like the whole time. So like this list just kept growing and growing, and in the end we had some decisions to make because at first it doesn't seem like there would be a lot of things that we could make connections, but the harder we looked, the more we found. And then we had limited space. We only have so many cases, and we had to make some decisions, but we were able to expand kind of the topics by looking at what some of the other constellations or the other cultures saw. So for the example, the Big Dipper, that's what we see in North America, but there were tribes in Africa who looked up and saw a giraffe or an elephant.
Oh,
So
wow.
that allowed us to get some of our toys out. We have a toy Dumbo from the 1940s. It's an elephant. We have a pin that's an elephant because, of course, that was the symbol of the Republican Party for William McKinley. So, that allowed us to do some things. And there's a constellation in China called ornate dresses. So I've often been accused of getting a dress into any exhibit I can, which is true. But we have some beautiful beaded gowns, to have this ornate dress in there. I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is so me. I'm so excited to get to put that in there.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know any other museums that have done any kind of exhibit like this?
There was one about 10 years ago, and that's where I first saw the idea. So I can't take credit for the idea. It was not mine. But the museum field, we steal from each other all the time. If it's going to work in Texas, why won't it work here? So, a lot of times you see an idea, I love to travel and I go to museums when I travel and I take a lot of ideas and, it's not any fun to go to a museum with me because I'm like, how did they build that? What is this font? And I'm always looking at things that nobody else cares about. But
Yeah.
that's the way it works in the museum world.
And when did this open? This exhibit?
It opened last Thursday, so it's brand new. It's only been up a week tomorrow. So, it's an original Keller Gallery exhibit that we've done in-house. The last one we did was Habitat. That was a traveling show from the Smithsonian. So this is our first in-house one we've done this year. So we're really excited about it. And it's fun for me, but this one took a lot. It was a lot of work. And one of the things that I loved about it was that each of the artifacts has a history. So we have a pin for the Southern Crown and Northern Crown. It's a rhinestone pin. But when I looked up what it was, it's actually from one of the oldest crews, Krewe, in New Orleans when they do Mardi Gras and Carnival, from 1898. So we were like, oh, we didn't know what this was because the donor didn't tell us. And so now, there's a lot of really neat history also in it. So it's science, but it's also a lot of history and some bigger ideas and some local things too. So it's a lot of fun.
Have you gotten any reaction from it outside of you guys?
We have, yeah. I think people are surprised because as you encounter each of these things, on the opening, we have people saying, well, what's this Maslin tiger's mug doing here? It's like, well, white tiger is one of the 4 beasts in the Chinese culture. So that's why it's there, so you can't just glance at it and understand. You actually have to look at it and say, well, what is the connection? And I think people were kind of impressed with some of the tangential things we came up with because on the surface, it's like, why would this be here? But it's really actually relevant and you learn a lot just looking at it.
Yeah, I think the lesson learned there, besides what the lesson learned is the creativity that you guys used. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome. Awesome.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, I love it. I have to come over and see it for sure. All right, we're going to take our first break. And when we come back, we've got to talk about some upcoming events at the museum, because you always have something going on. And we'll talk about all of that and much more here on Spotlight on 1480 WHBC with our guests from the McKinley Presidential Library and Museum, actually, the Executive Director, Kim Kenny. We'll be back after this.
Let's take a look at what's happening right now on the WHBC YouTube. Where were you during the solar eclipse? WHBC was everywhere. Check out the highlights from a full day of coverage from the once-in-a-lifetime event in the sky. Roll out the red carpet. Every Friday, Kenny and JT will feature an in-studio interview with a different Pro Football Hall of Famer. You can check out their first interview with the inventor of the Lambeau Leap, Leroy Butler. Just search 1480 WHBC YouTube and be sure to subscribe. Spring has sprung, so let's see what's new at the Keller Gallery exhibit inside the McKinley Presidential Library and Museum. Right now, the Keller Gallery exhibit hosts a constellation of objects. It is an eclectic mix of approximately 200 artifacts inspired by the night sky. In May, the Soup at 6 program continues with historical and cultural topics, food, and fun. Make your reservations to see this one-of-a-kind library, museum, planetarium, and science center right in the heart of Canton. Visit their website at mckinleymuseum.org.
Hello, it's Craig Sanders from Progressive Chevrolet in Massillon. Listen to this Progressive Power Buy.
New 2024 Chevy Equinox LT all-wheel drive, lease for just $239 a month. Or a new 2024 Chevy Trailblazer LT, lease for just $219 a month. Choose from the largest Chevy SUV selection we've had in years. And see them all right now at ProgressiveChevrolet.com. But you can't put it off. Our Progressive Chevrolet Power Buys sell very quickly, and these are no exception. They won't last long. Here they are again. New 2024 Chevy Equinox LT all-wheel drive, $239 a month. New 2024 Chevy Trailblazer LT, $219 a month. Get yours now, because when they're gone, they're gone. Progressive Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Shop Progressive Chevrolet in Massillon and ProgressiveChevrolet.com.
Call 833-853-3094 for offer details. Stock number C24250 and C24350. MSRP 32840 and 26980. Offer ends 4/30/24.
Hi, this is Jim Snyder of the Your Wealth, Your Retirement Program, a financial education show for those seeking guidance. Are you retiring soon? Are you in the middle of changing jobs? Maybe you're just done with all of that risk in the 401k plan, and you'd like to have a discussion about an early rollout. Maybe you're 70 and a half and you're in your income phase of your IRA. We can help you with all those. Give us a call at Senior Financial Group at 800-639-0824. That's 800-639-0824.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go, but I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there, providing hot meals, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding.
To learn more, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And welcome back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC, live on Facebook, live on YouTube right now. And if you miss any of the interview, you can always go back there and check it out as well. And we are talking about the McKinley Presidential Library and Museum. And we have with us this morning the Executive Director, Kim Kenny. And we were first talking this morning about the new Keller Gallery exhibition, which is a constellation of objects. And I have to laugh because I like the advertisement that has like the little objects. There was a teddy bear there, right?
Yes.
What's the teddy bear? Fill me in on the teddy bear.
That's Ursa Major and Ursa Minor, so the big bear and the little bear. But for us, there's a little bit more of a local connection because the teddy bear is named after Teddy Roosevelt, who was McKinley's second vice president.
Yes. Okay. See, it's almost like a puzzle. You know, it's almost like you give the clues and then you have to figure it out. So yeah. That's good. That's very cool. I like it. I like that a lot. All right. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things, some of the upcoming events that you have at the museum.
Sure. Our Soup at 6 series is continuing all year long. And our next one is called Steamy Women. And it's about women and the railroad. So steam locomotives to play on that. And actually one of our Discover World staff, Ashleigh, it's hard for me to say her name. She is doing the program for us because she's had an interest in railroads her whole life. So she's talking about how women were involved in the early railroad and, you know, the jobs that they had and all of that kind of thing. So that one is coming up on May 9th. So we're real excited about that. It's a new one for us. And then we take a little bit of a break. So the next one isn't until August. That one is called McKinley's New Creases. And our guest speaker is going to be the guest curator at the Maslin Museum, who's doing an exhibit for them on the Gilded Age. And this topic is about William McKinley as a fashion icon. So we're all interested to hear more about that. We didn't realize that our president was kind of cutting edge and top of mind when it came to men's fashion, but apparently he was. So
yeah,
we'll learn more about that in August.
That's something new. Definitely something new. Explain the Soup at 6 series, what that is.
Sure. So the Soup at 6 series is our history lecture series, and we serve soup for dinner. So it's Soup at 6 is actually at 6 o'clock. We do have people ask us what time it starts. It's Soup at 6. And then there's bread from Johnny's Bakery, and then a dessert and a beverage, and then your program. So it's our premier adult lecture program for history.
Okay. And people, do they have to sign up ahead of time to come?
Yeah. The deadline is always 2 days before. So the deadline for the next one will be May 7th. This year we did sell a season pass, so we'll be doing that again in January. We did sell quite a few of those, so it was a really great experiment for us. So that you have it all paid. It's a little discount ahead of time. So next year in January, we'll be offering that again. But since that's over, they're one-off series right now. So they're very popular. We've been doing them, I think, since 2007 or 8. So, you know, we've been doing a lot of them over the years, and people really like it. It's a nice history. Well, I shouldn't even say that. We sometimes have science. Our science director does some programming too. So it's mostly history, but sometimes science.
Yeah, that's cool. And so, people like to have a little piece of that, every once in a while, and get out, and have a little camaraderie as well at the same time. So that's awesome. Also, you have some events coming up in June as well.
Yeah, we're really excited about our June events. Both of these events are brand new. So the first one is an ice cream social that we're doing on June 1st to celebrate Ida's birthday. So that's going to be a kind of an upscale ladies event. There's going to be live piano performance. There's going to be a program about Ida and William's romance. We're going to have some of Ida's gowns. They're going to be out, but in their boxes, because even though some of them have been conserved and treated for their condition, they're still very fragile. But the bodices are the prettiest part anyway. So you'll be able to see those. So we're really excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's the ice cream is from Milk and Honey, and we do have a non-dairy option. So if people have lactose issues, they can still come and enjoy the program. And then at the end of the month, we're doing a new program called Honeys of the Hooch. And that is about women bootleggers and moonshiners during Prohibition. So how female people got involved in doing all those things. And it's going to be a speakeasy theme. When you make your reservation, we're going to give you the password to get in. We're encouraging people to dress in 1920s costumes. So we partnered with a brewery and a winery, and we'll also be having some. I think it's moonshine that we're going to have. This is our science director Lynette Reiner's idea. We were all set to do it in 2020, and obviously had to cancel it. So we're excited to finally be able to do it. We've been talking about it for a really long time.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so that would be flapper era, wouldn't it? Okay, that's what I was thinking. I'm trying to think, what would you wear?
Gangster, flapper, that kind of thing.
Like the Great Gatsby, right?
Yes, the Great Gatsby.
Okay, all right. And just, boy, I feel like I remember something cool. Yeah, all that kind of thing is a lot of fun. If people want to find more information about all of this stuff, they can go to your website, right? I mean,
yes, it's McKinleymuseum.org. It's real easy. You can search by event on our calendar. So if you want to know more about the soup, the drop-down menu will show you the soup. Reservations are opening in a couple of days for both the ice cream social and the Honeys of the Hooch. So look for that on our Facebook page, but also on our website.
And Ida, her birthday, what is the official day of her birthday?
I believe it's June 8th, but we wanted to do something on a Saturday. So it worked out like a Saturday. We always do McKinley Day, that Saturday closest to his birthday. But we haven't had anything for Ida's birthday. I don't know how, I've been here 23 years and I'm not sure why we haven't ever done that before. Yeah. But we're going to start now and hopefully it'll be successful and we'll do something else similar to it next year.
Yeah, because I think the McKinley Presidential Library, obviously, and Ida, I know, featured in the First Lady's Library too. But, there's a lot of things to learn about her. And I know you know a lot about her, correct?
Oh, yeah. I did a program a few years ago about her fashion. And one of the things that struck me when I was looking through the historical record in newspapers was that she was present at several public events. We have this image of her as not being well and, she had seizures and things. And that's true. She wasn't always healthy, but it wasn't like she was a recluse and was never seen. She actually did participate. She might have a more passive role than other first ladies did. She often was sitting, she often held flowers so she didn't have to shake hands and things like that. But there are descriptions of, beautiful dresses that she was wearing and, that she was present at these events. So, it kind of gives us a different view of her as not being this sort of invalid that was, so fragile she couldn't attend anything. She was, in her younger years, she was pretty feisty. And, that didn't go away, I don't think. So, her physical health might have suffered a little bit, but she was a really strong-willed woman and she did attend what she could. So, it was fun to research her.
And she's one of the first ladies that you remember her first name. You remember her name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that is. Even not because I live here in this area and am familiar with it, but, when you're a kid or you're growing up and you learn the names of first, some of them you remember, some of them you don't. Ida is one that you remember. I'm not sure why that is, but she was a popular first lady. So
she was, and she was a fashion icon herself. When you look at her dresses, they're very conservative. They're high neck, they're long sleeve, and you think that maybe she was kind of matronly, but honestly, that was the fashion in the 1890s. Everybody was wearing that. So, her dresses just sparkle, and we can't get them out on mannequins as often as we would like, but being able to see them in the boxes is just as special. Some of them have silver embroidery. They have tiny little mirrors that would have reflected that flickering gas light that would have been in most places that she would have attended these events. So imagining what they would look like is really powerful, because she had really refined taste.
And that became a wedding gown style also, the high neck, the long
absolutely.
sleeve, so. All right, well, we're going to take a break for the news, and folks who are waiting for our keyword for our contest, that's coming up next as well. And we'll be back, talk more about the McKinley Presidential Library and Museum with Kim Kenny. Stay tuned. Spotlight will continue after this.
Spring has sprung, so let's see what's new at the Keller Gallery exhibit inside the McKinley Presidential Library and Museum. Right now, the Keller Gallery exhibit hosts a constellation of objects. It is an eclectic mix of approximately 200 artifacts inspired by the night sky. In May, the Soup at 6 program continues with historical and cultural topics, food, and fun. Make your reservations to see this one-of-a-kind library, museum, planetarium, and science center right in the heart of Canton. Visit their website at mckinleymuseum.org. Purchase a twin tank water softener from Verndale Water Experts and you'll get $250 off, a free reverse osmosis drinking water system, and 0% financing. Call Verndale Water Experts today.
Tap into Verndale's Water Center.
WHBC AM Canton, reliable as ever on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Good afternoon. This is your captain speaking. We're flying at an altitude of 37,000 feet, and our airspeed is 400 miles an hour.
The Choose Your Trip keyword is social. 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 Go to WHBC.com now. Submit that word. You have 1 hour to do it if you want a chance to kick your bucket list. From the News Talk 1480 WHBC Newsroom, there were protests on the campus of Kent State University last night as a far-right conservative group hosted an event featuring Kyle Rittenhouse. Back in 2020, Rittenhouse made headlines when he shot 3 protesters at a Black Lives Matter rally in Wisconsin, killing 2. The then 17-year-old was acquitted of charges at his trial in which he claimed self-defense. Now, Rittenhouse is making money from the notoriety and has been aligned with conservative groups for speaking engagements. The campus chapter of the conservative group Turning Point USA hosted last night's event. He promotes Second Amendment and his opposition to the Black Lives Matter movement. At every campus, his presence has sparked protests. Several hundred protesters on both sides were out in full force at Kent State last night. No problems occurred. The Biden administration announcing yesterday a new program to help prevent future pandemics like the COVID-19 outbreak. The global health security strategy will see the U.S. team up with 50 countries to develop more efficient ways to test, survey, and prepare for outbreaks. Most of these countries are located in Asia and Africa. Biden hopes to have 100 countries signed into the programs by the end of the year. United Airlines is reporting a first quarter loss of $124 million, which company officials are blaming on the 3-week grounding of Boeing 737 MAX 9s in January and February. The grounding occurred after a panel blew off an Alaska Airlines MAX jetliner in January during a commercial flight. As a result, United officials say they're ordering fewer Boeing planes this year. Despite the reported first quarter loss, shares of United stock climbed 5% in after-hours trading. We now know what time the Cleveland Cavaliers will begin their playoff game on Saturday. Tip-off against the Orlando Magic at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse is at 1 in the afternoon. You'll hear the game right here on 1480 WHBC. I'm Pam Cook.
Your severe weather station, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Clouds and breezy, not as warm. A shower this afternoon. Heavy thunderstorm could give us some flash flooding, damaging wind and hail. High today 72. Shower and heavy thunderstorm around this evening. Flash flooding and hail possible, low 51. Cloudy tomorrow, the high 72. Clouds and breezy on Friday, the high 63. Partly sunny breezy on Saturday, the high at 55. I'm Steve Williams for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
Call Crown Heating and Cooling today. With Crown, estimates are always free. Let them show you how much you can save when you trust the carrier experts at Crown. Call 330-499-4988 or visit them on the web at crowngroupohio.com. Ohio license number 27133. Medicine Center pharmacies have been serving our local community for over 40 years. Our customers know they can count on our pharmacy staff, save money, and trust us. Stop by any of our Medicine Center pharmacy locations in Canton, Louisville, Minerva, and New Philadelphia, or visit us online at medshoprx.com.
Downtown Canton's hidden treasure is the beautiful Canton Palace Theater. It's the perfect place to catch a movie, local and national concerts, or various other live entertainment. To see what's happening this month at the Canton Palace Theater, go to cantonpalacetheater.org.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
And again, welcome to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC, live on Facebook, live on YouTube right now. And we've been talking McKinley Presidential Library and Museum with the Executive Director, Kim Kenny, and so many things happening at the McKinley Museum, and so many events coming up. We've had a lot going on and a lot of things to talk about this morning. Not only the new Keller Gallery exhibition called A Constellation of Objects, but also all of the different events that go on. But Kim, let's talk a little bit about the museum and membership and all of those things, because, a lot of people invest a lot of time and really enjoy coming to the museum and bringing the kids, and you host school groups. I mean, there's a lot more than what we've talked about right now, right?
Oh, absolutely. And membership is one of the things that we have been struggling to get back to pre-COVID levels. So we actually have a membership drive going on this year to try to boost those numbers. And our membership, what people sometimes don't know, not only do you have you get free admission to our museum, but you have free admission to 550 other science centers and history museums across the country and around the world. And that whole list is available on our website, so you can check out, where your next trip's going to be. We have some members in other states that probably have never come here, but our rate is cheaper than the one that's local to them. So those are some options for our regular family memberships. But then if you level up to the major level, there's a whole other layer of reciprocity agreements with some other museums. It includes the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It includes Stan Hewitt. Their members get 50% off, so our members would get 50% off as well. But it's free admission to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame if you have the upper level membership at our museum. So all of that's available on our website for people to look at. But you also get first dibs on knowing what's going on here. We have a print newsletter. We also do an e-newsletter, but we time it very carefully so that we make sure the print newsletter hits members' mailboxes first. There's also exclusive content in there. So we have a lot of historical artifacts, like sort of articles talking about different things, topics in our collection and history that we don't share for free with everybody else. So we have a lot of membership benefits also that we're introducing this year, monthly membership benefits. This month, I'm sorry. I'll be doing a behind the scenes talk about the new Keller Gallery exhibition, and that link will only be available to our members. So we're trying some new exclusive things to try to get people to come back or to join if you've never been a member before. And it's kind of interesting to us, membership is open to anyone, but we've always felt like we have to kind of invite people to become a member. And that's a big part of our budget. So it's really important that we get some of those numbers to increase so that we can continue to do what we do and also grow.
Yeah, and it's a great idea for families. I think, that's families maybe don't think about it so much, but especially if you're a traveling family, if you go on vacation every year and, you're thinking about going to someplace and they have a museum and you're definitely going to go visit that. I mean, you just got to really, it's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, and people also don't always know, if you come here and you're not a member and you pay admission if you buy a membership before you leave, then we apply that admission money to your membership. So it's less for you to become a member because you've already paid your admission. So, you can come and try us out if you haven't. We can't understand, it's like people haven't been here before, but people haven't been here before, or they haven't been here since they were on a field trip in 2nd grade. And, we invite everybody to come back. There's always something new. So, please check us out and think about becoming a member.
Yeah, and maybe that's a good thing to mention. I mean, the new things that are happening now. We know some of the events and stuff that are coming up and the gallery, but if I were to come to the museum today, what are some of the things that I could go and look at?
Well, we just got an oversized light bright. So it's this huge light bright. It's called pixel peg. The pegs are like this big. They're huge. They're like 4 inches wide. So it's good for the little ones. So that's in Discover World, but it's good for people of all ages. Every morning, the board is by the back door where the staff comes in. And every day I look at it and there's something else. There's a rainbow, or somebody made a flower, or somebody just put everything in the line, whatever they want to do. And that's been a lot of fun. We were able to get that through a grant from Visit Canton. So we were able to purchase that. And also our Giving Tuesday campaign in November last year was to get this. So we're real excited about that in Discover World. We have some new animals in Discover World. We have dagoos, which to me, I'm not, I like cats, and that's about all I understand really. But the dagoos, they look to me like short-haired chinchillas. So they're these kind of oversized hamstery things, super friendly. They've been a lot of fun. And all of our animals in Discover World are rescue animals. So, we have some special medical needs for some of them. Weird story. We had a bearded dragon that passed away. She was old, and she died last summer. And we buried her out on our property. And a week later, our assistant facilities manager, was out mowing the lawn and found a bearded dragon along the creek. Like, he stopped his lawnmower because he almost ran it over. And he said, "I just buried one like a week ago. Like, is this pet cemetery? This thing is coming back to life."
What the heck?
Somebody let her go. In Ohio, she's lucky to be alive. They can't survive in our conditions. So we took her. She fell in love with our science director within seconds. She was all curled up on her shoulder. It was adorable. We took her to the vet. She needed some surgery. She probably had been used for breeding and had just outlived her usefulness. And she had some injuries and things, but she's doing great. We named her Nimmy because she was found on the Nimishillen Creek bed. But it was the craziest thing, So all of our animals in Discover World are special in some way. We had a bird that recently passed away from a heart condition, and he had been on heart medication for several years. So we take really good care of these animals, and we recently opened the mammals. They had been closed during the COVID outbreak because they could transmit back and forth between humans, and we opened that a couple months ago. So you can now see the sugar gliders, you get a better look at the bunnies, and then we have the new dagoos. So Discover World is one of those kind of gates that opens up people. You think, oh, museums are, I'm not interested in history, or maybe you think it's boring, but the hands-on stuff we have in Discover World, kids love it, families love it, and then we are like, and then come upstairs and see what else we have. So something for everybody under our roof.
Yeah, and that's wonderful. I love that. The stories, about the animals. That makes it even better, except that kind of makes me wonder about the dragon.
Yeah, it's like yesterday I had a meeting with someone. We were telling that story, and he's like, "It's a zombie bearded dragon."
It's a zombie bearded. Yeah.
Maybe it was.
You never can tell. It's just an act of something, You never know.
Found her way here, and she's going to have a good life now. So
yeah,
we're happy.
That's right. And the planetarium, it had been years, like you said, years since I had been to the planetarium. And when I came over to talk to Susie Dills about the eclipse, I forgot how cool that planetarium is.
Yeah. And the planetarium, we have shows on Saturdays that are included with your admission. So it's a free ticket. You do have to get the ticket at the admissions window. But between Memorial Day and Labor Day, we do shows every day. So we have a show in the morning called Cosmic Kids. That's for the little ones. It's a little bit shorter. It's geared towards families. And then there's a show in the afternoon that's more geared towards adults, and talks both of them talk about the night skies. You get to see the stars. Susie's also working on a special program during the big balloon build that's happening downtown this summer about it's a multicultural theme. So she's working on a new show for that time when the big balloon build will be here, talking about some of those other cultures and what people saw in the night sky. Some of what we've done in constellations, which she pointed us in the right direction for that. But there'll be a special show for I think about a week when that's going on. So it's amazing. Every place doesn't have a planetarium. Our planetarium is the original light projector from when the building was built in 1963, and it's still perfect. And a lot of places that have gone to the LED bulbs and things, ours have pinpricks that are very, very kind of precise. And so you can see a lot more of the night sky than you can in the new technology. So in this case, the old tech is great.
Yeah, which is an amazing thing when she was telling us that. And to look at that, I don't want to say monstrosity because that sounds like a bad thing, but it's just, it sits there and it's just enormous and you're afraid to touch, like think that something's going to happen to it. But she was, it was amazing. It was amazing. If you have a chance to take kids there or go as an adult, that's certainly just one other thing for you to see while you're there. So that's pretty awesome. All right, we're going to take our final break right now, and when we come back, we'll go over again a little bit more about the constellation of objects and remind everybody about that and some of the other things that are going on. We continue talking about the McKinley Presidential Library and Museum on Spotlight here on 1480 WHBC.
It's Jordan Miller.
With the eclipse, it kind of exceeded my expectations.
It exceeded them.
So first of all, I want to thank WHBC for buying, purchasing, and distributing the glasses.
No, it was pretty cool.
This was an amazing thing, and that we could have those glasses to see it. For centuries, people couldn't look up and see it, so I wanted to thank you for that.
Live and local, 10 to noon, Monday through Friday on 1480 WHBC.
Spring has sprung, so let's see what's new at the Keller Gallery exhibit inside the McKinley Presidential Library and Museum. Right now, the Keller Gallery exhibit hosts a constellation of objects. It is an eclectic mix of approximately 200 artifacts inspired by the night sky. In May, the Soup at 6 program continues with historical and cultural topics, food, and fun. Make your reservations to see this one-of-a-kind library, museum, planetarium, and science center right in the heart of Canton. Visit their website at mckinleymuseum.org.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go, but I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there, providing hot meals, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding.
To learn more, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
Stop by this Saturday from 9 until 4 for the Hartville Toy and Comic Show at the Hartville Marketplace and Flea Market. Shop vintage and model toys and comics from all eras from over 80 different vendors. Don't miss your chance to get up close and personal with your favorite stars. That's right, tickets are still available for autographs and photo opportunities with William Shatner, the Dukes of Hazzard, Brian A. Prince, Lou Temple, Christine Gailey, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Visit primetime12.com and click on autograph signings to secure your spot right now.
Getting a vehicle loan is a breeze at Friends and Family Credit Union. We'll put you in a fresh new or used car, truck, or motorcycle for as low as 5.99% APR. That's a rate as low as 5.99% APR with terms up to 60 months. And with your Family Advantage, you could drop your rate as low as 5.74% APR. This institution is not federally insured. They are privately insured by ASI up to $250,000 per account. Now, more than ever, it's time to bring a friend into the family.
Now back to Spotlight on 1480 WHBC.
All right, Spotlight on this Wednesday morning. And again, a reminder, you can find us live on Facebook, also live on our YouTube channel. If you missed any of the program, you can always go to Facebook or go to the YouTube channel, and you can watch the whole thing all over again if you want to do that, plus a lot of other wonderful programs that we have there, so you can check it out. This morning, we've been talking about the McKinley Museum and all the things going on there with Kim Kenny, the executive director. And we started out first thing this morning talking about the Keller Gallery exhibition, A Constellation of Objects. And explain that again. I want to hear your explanation again about how this all came about.
Sure. We have almost 200 artifacts in the gallery that are inspired by constellations in the night sky. So they relate to different constellations like the Big Dipper, Orion, all of the zodiac signs. We also have things that are just kind of generic space-related things, such as stars, moon. But we have a G.I. Joe astronaut that was a commemorative that was reissued, I think, around 2005 or 6. We have a Snoopy astronaut from 1969. So a lot of really fun space-themed artifacts as well. And then the constellations, which are grouped by animal, and then all of the kind of Greek heroes. I was really brushing up on my 7th and 8th grade like mythology, like reading all these things and thinking, I'm trying to understand why it's such an honor to be thrown up into the sky. It's like, well, here to honor you, we're going to, put you in the sky where you will live for eternity. But then there's other myths where it's like, and then to punish them, they were put up in the sky. So Susie and I had a lot of fun talking about that. Like, it's a good thing or a bad thing to be a constellation. I don't know. But I think one of the things that really struck me about it is the way that, the stars are just dots in the sky, and everything that we see in them is all human imagination. So looking up into the sky and trying to find some of these things, and this is why I love the planetarium, because it's hard for me to look up in the sky and find anything. The planetarium shows you the night sky, and then Susie and her presenters they superimpose what it is over it. And then you're like, oh, that looks like a dragon, or that looks like Hercules, or that kind of thing. And then hopefully some people, and my brain doesn't work this way, but hopefully after you see that, you can go outside yourself and find some of these things. And I think a lot of people too don't understand that some of the, like your touchstones, like my Orion, I didn't really understand that you don't see that all year round.
Okay.
It's only in certain seasons that you see the stars, and then the whole thing shifts. So if you can't find the one that you're looking for, maybe that's only in the winter. And so the planetarium presenters can explain all of that to you much better detail than I can. I'm a historian, and I took the connections that we made and then dove deep into the artifacts. So that was what was fun for me to do.
Yeah. So the process was you found a constellation or something in the night sky, and then you went and you found the connection to something in history. Is that right?
Yeah, there's one myth, for example, where the gods were looking for someone to serve at their table, and so they had this young man that they really liked on Earth, and so they plucked him out of our world, and then he served the gods at the table. So we have a beautiful table setting of some gorgeous china with gold rim, and it's got a ruby enamel, and it's really, really pretty. And you walk into the gallery and you're thinking, why is there a table setting from this like 1905 pattern? And it's because of that particular myth. So as we read the stories, we were like, oh, people use the Big Dipper for traveling. So we have a beautiful, huge steamer trunk that we've opened, and it has all of the drawers in it. It has all of the hangers where you would have hung your clothes. And then, the thing, it's almost as tall as me. It's about 5 feet tall. So it's very big. But some of those types of things were what, we didn't have to have such a huge connection that's so obvious. It was like, what can we do that's off on a little bit of a tangent, which is what material culture is. That's what, museum studies programs teach. What can we read into an object, and how can we use it in different ways to tell stories? And that's what this exhibit's about. We're using the night sky as a way to tell stories about objects in our collection. And most of them have not been, to my knowledge, I've been here 23 years, most of them have not been on view before. That's like the first time. Some of them have come in, within the past 5 or 10 years. Some we've had for decades, but it hasn't had its time to shine. And now, everything is in the gallery with light shining on it. It looks so beautiful. And I'm just really excited about it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That is. And so when I come into this, how is it explained to me? How will I find out what the connection is?
Well, each constellation has a picture of what it is in the sky. And then underneath that, it has an outline to show you, like, this is how they saw a dog. Like, maybe you don't see a dog in these stars, but right here you can see how there's a dog. And then the story is right there. And so that label is in the case with all the things that relate to it. And then each object itself has its own label that tells its story. So they're grouped in a way that hopefully will make sense. I tried to repeat those stories for some of the bigger things. So, the trunk obviously is on a platform. The dog constellations, we have a McKinley bulldog, booster jacket. So those things were not in a case. So I tried to repeat those stories that were kind of far away from where that label was, so people would make those connections. But it's a lot of reading, if you want to get everything out of it. But even if you don't, you want to look at the beautiful china. We have some Canton glass that is a swan pattern, so you can look at that. We have some cufflinks that have stars on them. We have, for the crown, there's a lot of things that had to do with crowns, far more than I expected in our collection. But we displayed a plate backwards so you can see the maker's mark on it, and it happens to be a crown. So to kind of let people know, when you flip over your china, there's usually a mark on it, and you can decode who made it, sometimes, the exact year. So, we were able to do some things in this exhibit that we don't normally do. So it was like a curator's dream to take all these objects out and put them all together.
Yeah, and that's a lot of work, I'm going to say.
It was.
Lot of work. Wow. Well, fantastic. And it'll be there till October, so folks can go and check it out. And you've got a lot of great things. What's the website again for people to check out what's coming up?
It is McKinleymuseum.org.
All right. Well, Kim, thank you so much for coming on and telling us about that. That's an awesome thing for folks to check out. And I know that we'll talk with you again soon.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Breaking and trending. Here's why you should listen. Search 1480 WHBC on Facebook.
It's just